Rappaport's side. First off, I don't think people comprehend or realize how much money is in the state of Montana and how many people live around that area. Tom Brady's had an off-season house there for years. There's beautiful ski resorts in that state. And I would care to guess you could go up and down the rows of some of those $1 million homes and be like, wow, there's a lot of professional athletes that come here in the winter for a break or in the summer when it's absolutely beautiful out and it's quiet and there's no paparazzi. There's not a lot of people. You basically have your own little pocket of the country. How many people live in the state of Montana? They just bought like a little section of it and nobody bothers them up there. So I 100% am on board with what Rappaport is saying of like they bumped into each other.
You don't think there was a sell by Brady of be a Raider?
I mean, he might have like, hey, man, I heard you're looking for a new home. There might have been something like that.
But not a sit down.
This idea that it was planned of like, hey, why don't you fly up to my Montana ski resort home? And Rappaport reported that they both own a home in the same community in Montana.
It's a ritzy area.
They both have a house in that same area. They just happen to be there at the same time. And if I'm going to lean on somebody's reporting on this, I'm going to lean on the guy who's not trying to physically beat up another reporter in a Starbucks in front of the entire public.
By the way, Jordan Schultz, his college basketball profile, he played at Occidental College.
Of course he did. I'm sure that was deserved.
6 foot, 205 pounds.
Yeah, he would whoop Rappaport's ass.
That's kind of a thick person.
He's
I'm
a
about
thick guy.
6'1", and I weigh $175.
That's more free safety size than point guard size.
If you look at some of the images of his,
how many points per game did he average at Occidental College? We got a stat sheet there.
Let me see if I can find this. Looks like. God, 6 foot 205. That's
just one of those like, hey,
good thickness there.
You know, Marco Rubio's kid plays for Florida. It's one of those.
The stats page I'm looking at now. To be fair, this is 07-08.
It's a long time ago.
No stats.
Oh, okay.
No stats.
It's on the team though. But it was a full ride scholarship.
Well, it shouldn't be because his dad's a billionaire.
Well, touche. Even whether it's a full ride or not, he didn't pay a cent for college. So.
Yeah. What's interesting here is what if Schultz ends up being right? What if like Stafford does become a Raider? Or what if in like a year, I don't know where Stafford is, let's say he's not a Raider, it comes out that Brady did indeed have a full sit-down meeting with Stafford.
Then I will walk back my take, but that will
Schultz
never
has
happen.
had some accurate reporting.
I'm not saying the guy's been wrong on everything that he's reported.
You just hate the approach here of like confronting another reporter.
I think it makes you look like an absolute imbecile, dude. You're a grown-ass man. You guys had differing reports. Move on. Like, if you want to stand by your report, stand by your report.
But Rappaport's the bigger name in the reporting.
Of course
biz.
he is.
He's a much bigger name.
Because he's earned his way up in that industry, and he wasn't handed a job. I'll never forget when Jordan Schultz stole a job from my radio co-host.
Well, that's not...
I'll never forget that. That happened. There was a podcast opportunity that would have been a pretty big chance for one Brandon Sprague back in the day.
It would have been a nice opportunity for sure. I was in the Final Four running for it.
Did not get that job.
Going to the
I wonder
coffee.
why you didn't get that job.
I wasn't as talented as Jordan
No,
Schultz.
clearly. You didn't have a billionaire father.
Well, he's on FS1 daily on a national show. I'm doing 1080 The Fan in Portland, Oregon, not on YouTube.
Portland sports leader, bitch.
I'm right now just on the Odyssey app and AM radio.
Well, 99.5 HD2.
And 99.5
Do not forget 99.5 HD2.
You're right there.
I just, the whole idea, look, he might end up being right. I highly doubt it because I trust Rappaport's reporting more. Challenging a grown man to a fight over a disagreement, like we're going to have problems. What are you, in high school?
That really obviously rubbed him the wrong way to confront him in person.
Probably because he got a sniff of a report. He thought, I have this groundbreaking scoop. I'm going to run with it. Rappaport reached out to other people, and they're like, we just bumped. Tom Brady's agent, look, we don't have to believe him. He already came out and was like, I understand that things are reported. Yes, they bumped into each other. Yes, they had a friendly conversation. Nothing was planned. This was a little bit cart before the horse situation. And I think that Schultz was upset because he thought he had this big report, and Rappaport threw cold water all over it.
I'm trying to remember the last time I got upset to the point of confronting another person in our profession.
I would never do that. And I've been upset with a lot of people in our profession because I'm an adult.
Yeah.
We're going to have an issue, man. I'm going to beat you up. Meet me after school.
Yeah, meet me by the flagpole.
What are we doing, dude? You're on national television, man.
You know, to be fair to me, too, even though I didn't get that podcast with CJ McCollum, that was the podcast.
Yes, it was.
I think it was called a Pull-Up Pod.
You might have even had like a cut in his wine business. You guys could have become best buddies. Would have been a thing.
Yeah, I think I traded him
You'd
too
be
much on Twitter.
sipping Pinots over down in Willamette Valley.
We had him on once. He followed me, and I think he saw too many hypothetical trades, so he unfollowed me.
Too many poll questions. Should we break up Dame and CJ?
That podcast no longer exists, and to be honest, I listened out of, kind of petty jealousy, like this could have been me.
This would have been mine.
It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very good podcast.
That's why it no longer exists. You know whose show still exists? Brandon Sprague's.
Who signed a 3-year deal?
That's right.
Bitch.
Just signed a 3-year extension.
Random off the beaten path, but it needs to be discussed nonetheless. I think it hits all three of us, no matter the age. Next on The Fan.